Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4 and 5 of the podcast. My name is Garrett Thompson. I'm coming to you once again from my residence room. I was away from it briefly recording because it just lined up that recording at my house would be a bit better. But we're back now, almost done here, and all of the summer episodes of the podcast will be coming to you from my house. So anyways, right into it. We have a lot to cover. We have lots of games to... I'm going to briefly talk about games because it's kind of not as important now as it would have been, but my video wouldn't upload for some reason. It was uploading all weird. I would say it was uploaded and then it wasn't up there. It's really weird. I have to check and fix it, but hopefully this will work and it'll be up and you guys can watch and enjoy it. So we're going to get right into it. Briefly, just a couple of topics. I think I might just update the first little bit of from Wednesday till now. Wednesday night was the start. Biggest news, Columbus jumped out to a 1-0 series lead over Tampa Bay. That was the big one. Columbus just made it in, and Tampa Bay's been locked in with the President's Trophy since February. So that was a big one. Thursday night, Boys in Blue got the 1-0 series lead. I was at Maple Leaf Square for that game. It was an absolute jumping crowd, man. It was awesome. So we had back-to-back nights of incredible games. Friday night, Columbus jumps out to a 2-0 series lead. Going out west here quickly. Calgary and Colorado, as of tonight, are tied 1-1 in the series. The Toronto game, which I will be watching promptly after recording this video, they're in Game 3. We're going to talk about Game 2, believe me, and I would like to express my opinions. I know several people have already. I'm going to be expressing mine. That series is tied 1-1. We're going to get to the second game, as I said. Friday night, we had numerous games. Columbus jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Sunday night, they jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Various games around the NHL. Out west, St. Louis and Winnipeg are now tied 1-1. St. Louis jumped out to a 2-1 series lead there. They're tied 2-1, excuse me. St. Louis did jump out to a 2-0 series lead. Winnipeg won 6-3 last night. I watched a bit of that game. I was thinking for a second St. Louis was going to come back there. Binnington played really well early on, but Winnipeg started to get his number a little bit. In other games, Saturday night, so Avalanche tied it. Capitals jumped out to a 3-0 series lead as well, I believe. Capitals are playing tonight. They're up 2-0 in the series. Beg your pardon. Dallas is tied 1-1 with Nashville. We are going to get to a very important topic here, and this is probably going to take up probably the rest of the video. It's about my Boys in Blue. That game was probably one of the most annoying, and as several people have said, I know Steve Dangle has said this too. I'm going to take this obviously to my own route of explaining it. The officiating, their voicemail box is full of missed calls, man. That was a terrible game. I watched most of it. I was downtown to watch the game, but it was it was cold. It wasn't as cold as Thursday night when I went, but the people who I went with and me, we weren't really feeling the atmosphere there. It was busy. The Raptors game had just ended, so the crowds were stupid. If anybody's watching this and was down there, you'll understand what I mean. It was just a really not a great dynamic to watch the game, so we decided to leave and go home. And then I watched the game when I got back, and I had watched highlights of plays. We're going to get to the hit. We're going to get to everything leading up to the hit. And it wasn't a great game to be down there to watch, honestly, in some spots. I know that people in Section 1 probably were great in terms of getting in, but people in Section 2, it was brutal to get in. It took us forever. Once the game actually started, we were in once the game started, of course, but it wasn't the best experience. I'm going to be going on Wednesday night, so that hopefully that'll be a lot better to experience and enjoy, which I'm sure it will, because there won't be as much of a bunch up. And I know Raptors fans who were watching that game will probably agree with me here. It was a bit of an annoying. It was just annoying. It was bunched up. It was way too busy. Apparently, there's 150,000 fans downtown in between all the Toronto games going on. There was a Marlies game, there was a Jays game, there was a TFC game, there was a Raptors game, there was a Leafs game. And yeah, there was a Jays game. I think I said Jays. So there was literally all the main Toronto teams were going on, on Saturday. So that was just crazy. To get to the Leafs game itself, Leafs lose 4-1. This was a game, everyone was like all shocked and like, oh no, the series is over, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's like, oh, because Boston wins this game, they've lost the series. That was probably, I've heard this so many times. I've seen it on social media around the different like sites. Oh my Lord, man, it's one game. It is one game. It's tied 1-1. We're not even losing the series. We're not losing the game right now either. It's up here on the screen here. We're not even losing the game either. It's 0-0 still. We're not losing the series. We were expecting this. We should have expected this. Anybody who didn't expect this and is looking down on it is stupid. I even said after that game, I'm like, okay, they're going to come back. Game 2 is going to be a rebound game for Boston. They're going to play the Boston take advantage of the refs' blind ass ways game. They're going to hip check. They're going to do that. I swear to God, if I hear about another Boston fan or Boston's fans saying that Nazem Kadri is dirty, they can shut up and leave. Because if you cannot even comprehend as a Bruins fan of how dirty your team is, then you shouldn't be watching this game. You shouldn't be watching hockey. Okay, great. Kadri's dirty. Okay, it's his job to be in there and gritty. You have a man on your team who licks people, who low bridges everybody. He slew foots people. It's brutal. Jake DeBrusk made 2 brutal plays before getting hit. You could look at that as karma. Kadri shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have cross-checked. It's brutal. He's out for 5 games. We're not going to see him till the second round. We will not see him till the second round. He will not be in for Game 7 if there's a Game 7 in the series. He will be in the second round. I don't know if we'll see him. I want to see him obviously play because he played great in the first game. That pass to Nylander was beautiful. It was on the money. His goal was great. If Nylander hadn't literally fed it to Danton Heinen, it would have been a 2-1 game, and we would have been in the game. But Nylander, with a great assist to the wrong guy, he pulled a Gardner from Game 7 of last year. And now it would have been a 2-1 game, and we would have been in the game. It would have been fine. Even at 3-1, we were still in it. But they weren't awake. They weren't awake, and they took advantage of it. Kadri, with a retaliation to what DeBrusk should have been off too. DeBrusk should have been off. Zdeno Chara comes in, and he's like, oh, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Zdeno Chara demolished Max Pacioretty and was out. Zdeno Chara should shut up and not say a word on it. About it. That's a hypocritical move if he ever said anything or was judging Kadri on it. He's done, or judging who would it have been on the hit, or saying anything about that kind of play and how bad it was that Kadri retaliated. Chara did the exact same thing. Chara gets that entire team is dirty, so Bruins fans shouldn't even be going after us. We shouldn't say that our team isn't dirty either. We were dirty. Like, that play was dirty. Like, that's Kadri's job, though, is to be gritty, is to be annoying, to rile the other team up. DeBrusk, knee on knee. You watch that play, DeBrusk had his leg out. DeBrusk had his leg out. He should have been in the box just as much as Kadri should have. Not necessarily get suspended, but that play, if that had been a second earlier on the Marleau hit, I wouldn't have even felt sorry for what Kadri did in retaliation. Kadri shouldn't have necessarily cross-checked him, but dropped the gloves and gone at him. That's probably what I would have done if I was in his scenario, or what I would have hoped for him to do, but he cross-checked him in the head, and that's 5 games, and he's gone. If Kadri had dropped the gloves and fought him, that would have been a different story. He would have gotten 5 minutes and would have gotten back in the game. 5 minutes, not 5 games. That's what would have happened. It would have been fine, done, in the dirt, game good, you're in the box for 5 minutes and we get him back to keep going in the game. But instead, he cross-checked him. Zdeno Chara comes in, all like, oh, this is terrible that he's retaliating for blah, 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 blah. DeBrusk should have gotten a penalty. Easily should have gotten a penalty. He flopped around and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that would hurt. Okay, not saying he's flopping around, but like, come on, man. You got to expect retaliation. Not necessarily to that extent, but you got to expect retaliation. You rode Marleau. He knows it. Apparently, though, a bunch of Leafs fans were going after DeBrusk on his Instagram page and social media. Like, come on, that's not even worth it. Like, what's that going to do? What's that going to do? What's that going to prove to you that, like, DeBrusk is, like he's on a dirty team and he plays dirty? We play dirty too. Like, yeah, he's a dirty player, but you don't see me running up on Marchand's page and telling him he should retire from hockey or he should, like, break his leg or something like that. Like, come on. Marchand is filthy. He's a rat. He's a terrible player. He's like, he plays the game. He shouldn't be playing the game the way he does. If he played the game the way he plays offensively and not being a rat, he'd be great. But instead, he's literally, you watch every single hit he makes, he's up like that. It's up and it's down and under to slew foot guys and be ratty and terrible. Brendan Prust hit him. It came off and got him in the gentleman's spot no one wants to get hit in, right? And Prust got fined $20,000, I think, in that ballpark, and got suspended for a couple of games. He said it was the best money he ever spent. Everybody lost their minds, like, oh, it's such a dirty play, blah, 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 blah. Marchand has not gotten suspended for half as much as he should have been. He nearly took guys out of the game for like how he hit them and how he does that. The Bruins, in general, have been probably one of the most dirtiest teams for a while. Like, honestly, man, like, it's so... I could go on for 30 minutes about how this game went, about how the team is and how whatever. But you know what? Look at it this way. Yes, we lost the game. Great, fine, whatever. That's just how it's going to go. We're going to lose games. This is not going to be a walk in the park series for either team, despite what people said. Oh, the Boston Bruins, they're going to sweep the series, blah, 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 blah. They're going to win in 5 games. That's not going to happen. This is going to be a series that's going to be grit. It's going to be hard fought. It's going to be reffing. If the reffing continues the way it does, I'd be shocked to see how this series turned out if it turned out well, honestly. But you know what? It's how it goes. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be like this the rest of the series. So the Leafs have to buckle up and play like they did in Game 1 and we'll be fine. Looking forward to Game 3, which is going on right now, and I will be watching this, as I said, promptly after I make this video. I think if the Leafs have home ice advantage, we have 2 games at home, take advantage of it, play like you did in Game 1 with the crowd that you do, and everybody in Maple Leaf Square watching this game, man, you've got all the advantage. Just use it now. Use what you have and run with it because you've got the resources to do it. You've got the resources to win this game. You've got the resources to win the next 2 games. Do it now. You can talk the talk. You got to walk the walk now. You got to go for it. Just run and play your game. Freddie's going to back us up. If Nylander doesn't put it in his own net, if we don't have stupid penalties, we can't take stupid penalties. We cannot take stupid penalties against this team. Marchand, with his ratty little plays, will feed it to Bergeron any day of the week. That power play is deadly. Marchand's a good player. So is Bergeron. So is Pastrnak. I hate that Marchand is a good player. I hate it. He's a shitty guy to play against. That's just how it is. And he's not a good player to play against. I always watch him and I'm like, look, you could be so much better. You could be a liked player, even though you're on the Boston Bruins, who I hate with a burning passion. Their goal horn irks me like nothing else. It irks me more than anything to listen to their goal horn go off. I hate it. But to see Marchand of how he's a good player. He's very good. He's deadly. But it's the reason that he's a rat too that really gets me. Bergeron is annoying and he's Bergeron and he's ridiculous on the faceoffs and all that kind of stuff. But he's not a rat, so you can kind of respect, like, he's a good player. But it's Marchand. I would love to respect him as a player because he's a good player. He's deadly. He's got 100 points this year for a reason. He's good. He didn't get 100 points for licking people. As much as people chirp him for it, he didn't get 100 points for licking people and being a rodent. He got 100 points for being a good player, and he is. But if he played the way he should be playing, and if he played and didn't be a rat and give
give Boston Bruins a reason to hire an exterminator to exterminate the frickin' rodent. Like, it'd be great, and you'd probably get a lot more respect. But no, their entire team is dirty, man. Zdeno Chara walks around the referees like he's never gotten a penalty in his life. Honestly, though, man, it's... As a Leaf fan, I've had so many discussions on how annoying the Bruins are. I just want the series to be okay. I just want us to go play hockey, and the series will, if the Leafs play the way they play, well, I'll be talking to you round 2. I will. I'll be making videos about round 2 and most likely Toronto and Columbus, but you never know. I mean, like, but I just... play this. We just got to play our game. Just play the way we played in Game 1. I watched Game 1. It was a masterpiece. A masterpiece of hockey. Perfect. That's exactly how you're supposed to play the game. Exactly. That's exactly how you're supposed to play playoff hockey, too. You start on time. You know, boys got to start on time here. Babcock always says it. Boys got to start on time. Boys get pucks deep, get pucks to the net. Want to get pucks deep on net early. Rask is a good player, but we got to get our chances early on. That's all we got to do. That's all he's got to do. He's preached it all year. Guys are getting mad at him like, oh, maybe starting on time isn't the right idea. It is. We've seen it. There's proof. Babcock isn't stupid. He's won the cup. He's won gold medals, World Cups. He's got everything. He knows what he's saying. There's been rumors that, we get fired this year if we didn't make if we do badly in the first round. I don't want him to get fired. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah, he makes plays that he makes some line changes people don't agree with, but he knows what he's doing. He knows where he knows what to do with what he's got, and he's got a good team. He's got a team that's easily second round. If we play the way we did in the first game, we'll be fine. The rest of the way, if we consistently play like that, starting on time, the minute the puck drops, into the zone, grinding, all 4 lines, going hard, pucks deep, pucks to the net. Get pucks deep, get pucks to the net. Defending, clearing guys out from the front of the net. You have an all-star goaltender in the Vezina conversation behind you. That man is a Vezina candidate, easily. You've got him in net. Use that. Clear the way. He'll make the saves. Just clear it out, get it out, stop making these bomb passes for breakaways, and just 1-2 out of the zone. You watch other games and they're not making the bomb pass. Maybe on a power play, make some fancy plays. Great, do that. But in the playoffs, 1-2 out of the zone. It's not complicated. It's not complicated at all. You can make 2 passes. It may take a bit longer to get it out. It may not be as quick as a 1 quick pass, but Gardner can take it up, feed it to Matthews. Matthews can take it over the line, or maybe feed it to Nylander, whoever he's paired up with, and go. Oh, sorry, he would be paired up with Kapanen if they keep the lines they did. But it can go Muzzin to Austin to Kapanen, dump it in and skate. Or if you have open ice like it opens up a lot. Game 1 opened up a lot. And that was Boston's fault, one of their big faults. They're not fast. I've said this so many times. Boston doesn't have our speed. They don't have our speed. They literally have 4 guys that are above 20 goals. 4 guys. That's it. We have 7, maybe 8. We are way more in depth. You've watched this game. You know why they win so many games is they can walk around the refs and they can make dirty plays and take our guys out. Because we're biting a little bit and that shouldn't be happening, but it is. They're not fast. They stick to a plan, yes, but a big part of their plan is to be chippy and be dirty and walk around the referees. Because if they walk around the referees, they can play their hitting and chippy and knee on knee and getting away with calls because they can and they know it and they run with it. They're taking advantage of the referees. They absolutely are. The referees are blind and they're calling bad games, and Boston's seen it and running with it. And that's why they won that game. They won that game because they were passing the puck better. They were making those little hits and all that kind of stuff that was throwing the Leafs off. And the refs weren't calling it, so it wasn't in the Leafs' favor. That's why. That is exactly why. That is one of the big reasons why, at least, that they won that game. The Leafs are faster. We have more depth skill. The Leafs have the Bruins had their first line than no one, except they can be chippy and they can be ratty, and that's why they're winning. That's why they won the game tonight. If we can play the way we did in Game 1, we'll be fine. We will be absolutely fine. Okay, how about we watch some hockey? Thank you guys very much for watching. Click a like if you like it, click subscribe as well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much.